All right. What's up, everyone? This is Lori. I am Lori with Hold the Light, and I'm coming on for this solo live because I am completely jazzed about what is happening tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, July 29th. And if you guys are listening to astrology or looking into it, some of you might know this intimately. I am new to astrology. I am not an astrologer, but I'll tell you what I am. I have an editorial background. So I like to read, I like to dig in, and I like to curate the knowledge and put it together. So I have put together some knowledge about tomorrow, July 29th, what is being heralded as the luckiest day of the year. Boom, 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 cha. I mean, like, how awesome does that sound? The luckiest day of the year, the day of abundance. Um, let's harness this, babies. So I was like, well, let me just come on and share what I know so that as we go into tomorrow, we are armed with the knowledge and we can freaking take on the abundance of this day. All right. So here is what to know. Here is what I'm going to share. And if anyone has any questions, put it in the old chat and I will answer. Otherwise, I'm just going to riff here. So tomorrow, Wednesday, July 29th, we are entering the luckiest day of the year. As I said, it's a day of abundance. So I like to think of it as a yes and type of energy. Yes and, as if life is just one big improv skit, right? So when you do improv, they have this whole thing that is about yes and, yes and. We're not putting up the stop signs, we're not looking for stop signs. We are just moving ahead. So tomorrow is a day where we say yes to ourselves, to new opportunities, to dreaming, to new ideas and inspirations, and to let the universe know that we are here for it. We are here for this energy. So, this is what I understand that's happening tomorrow. There is a Jupiter Kazemi. What does this mean? So, we're having a Jupiter Kazemi in Leo, and this is something that happens only once every 12 years. And what I've learned from digging into this is that, well, here's what it is. Because I'm not an astrologer, I love to share what I've learned. So I have taken some information from Jill Winterstein with Spirit Daughter, from Channing Nicholas, from the Freedom Transmissions, from a few other astrologers. And here is what I have learned. A Kazemi means in the heart. And it is a moment when a planet moves into the heart of the sun, where it is like connected with that energy. So it's connected with the heart of the sun. It's like this real meet cute type of situation. So when that happens, the planet gets amplified and purified and recharged. And here's what we know about Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, of luck, of expansion. And then it is in Leo, and Leo, the energy of Leo is confidence, it's courage, it's lead character energy. It is a sign that asks us to be our authentic selves and to do the things that actually light us up. And so when you put all of this together, when you put the sun, this Jupiter Kazemi with the sun, which is being like amplified, and it is in this energy of Leo, it's, a seed of creative expansion and leadership is being planted. Here's the cool thing. Jupiter is moving through Leo for this whole next year. So this isn't just a one-day thing. This is an invitation for the whole 12 months ahead. So we're moving into like this really wonderful time. And why does this matter? This matters because even if you don't understand astrology fully, which I don't, what I do understand is energy. And I think you all do too, because we are all energy. The universe is energy, planets, energy. And so we're feeling it and we can harness it and we can work with it and we can move with it. And so that's why it's helpful to know what is happening in astrology because we are being affected by the energy. So this is a time to ask yourself, as the luckiest day of the year is coming tomorrow, what do I want to see grow over this whole next year? What feels meaningful to me right now? What feels meaningful to you right now? It's different for all of us to know. If you don't know exactly in your chart where this expansion is happening, we are to look where Leo is in our chart so we can know where this expansion is actually happening and affecting us. Spirit Daughter has a free quiz that you can take, and it's at spiritdaughter.com. And you go on there. I can't remember if it shows up on the homepage, but you could just search the Jupiter quiz, and it takes like 2 minutes to take the quiz. I think you need to know what your rising sign is. So do a little digging around with that stuff. You can see where exactly this Leo is in your astrological chart and what house is what they say where this expansion is showing up. So for me, it's showing up in my house of communications. So I'm going to look into that more. I'm going to dig into that more. How do I want to express myself? How am I communicating? Where else might I want to communicate? But this can show up in different parts of your chart. It could be in your home. It could be in your relationships. It could be in your spiritual life. So take a look and see where this is expanding for you because this is an energy that's happening over this entire year. So then, to add a little oomph to this day, to tomorrow, there is a full moon in Aquarius. So, why is this interesting to know? Full moons, they illuminate, as you can imagine, because they're shining their bright light. We can't hide in the full moon. So, if there's something in our lives that's out of alignment with our soul, um, it's this kind of light that's gonna find it. It's gonna amplify, like, maybe there's something out of alignment. Maybe you're like, "Oh, this relationship, I've been feeling like it's not quite working for me," or a friendship might feel like it's dying, or you wanna put boundaries around it. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's where you live. Maybe it's just, like, how you are showing up in your life. And so Channing Nicholas, astrologer, has framed this particular full moon that we're having tomorrow as confronting the fears that block our creative expression. So, whatever's been sitting in the shadows is going to get exposed. No fear around this. It's just illuminating. And it's probably illuminating stuff that we already know. And maybe we were like, I don't really want to look at it. Can I kind of hide from this a little bit more? This is an opportunity to really just take a look at, like, all right, what how have I been dimming my light, and what how is this light of the full moon shining a light on these little shadowy parts? So Jill Winterstein, who is Spirit Daughter, she encourages us to ask ourselves, what is it that's actually blocking me from receiving what I want? And what fear keeps me from asking for it in the first place? Like, if we're feeling like there's something we actually really want, but we find ourselves still in fear of putting it out there, naming what we want, what is that fear that's blocking us? So, if Leo is about becoming who we were born to be, that's the energy that we're moving into. This full moon tomorrow is asking us, what do we need to release to become that person? What do we need to release to become that more expansive, full, highest version of ourselves? Because we usually have to let go of who we've been before we can step into, who we're here to be. At least the parts, uh, of who we've been that haven't been serving us. Let's take a look at that and see what we want to let go. Maybe it's just one little thing that can take a whole year, but we just want to get on the road. There's another astrologer, her name is Cassandra Joan Butler, and she points out that this pairing that we are having tomorrow, Aquarius is the sign of the collective, right? And it's yeah, it's like for the people. It's standing opposite Leo, which is, as we've been saying, the sign of individual creativity and courage. So when you put these two together, collective for the people with also creativity, courage, and individuality, what it's showing us is that it means our light was never meant to shine just for ourselves. So this is not just me time, this is we time that we are stepping into, because we don't know, and we don't need to necessarily know, we may never know how much our words or our creativity or our small acts of kindness, how that ripples out into other people's lives. We could walk down the street and just smile at someone, and it can literally make their day. And then they can go off and start, they'll smile at the next person, and then there's this ripple effect. So it doesn't even have to be these big, huge things. It can be these small acts of kindness. But then also, maybe it is a little bit bigger than just a smile. Maybe it is looking into a project that you have been wanting to put out there, but you keep putting off, but you know it's going to help someone. Maybe it's, just ways to guide others or to help others in a very co-creative, loving way that is not just about the me, me, me. So who else gets to feel the ripple of when you actually shine? Let yourself shine. It's going to help others. There's another thing that I look at in my work through the Freedom Transmission. So some of you may know that I do these book studies. I do this guidance around this book, The Freedom Transmissions. And we go deep into the lessons around what is being offered in this book. It is just a guide, it is a pathway to liberating ourselves, to being our fully authentic selves, to being our true selves, and letting go, and really taking a look at, like, the stories and the things we take on about ourselves that are keeping us from, really just feeling more of that inner freedom. That's what it's all about. It's a guidebook for leading like a really, just a really great life. So one of the things that we talk about is, we talk about our fear of expansion. So Leo and Jupiter is asking us to expand. So when we have this fear, it usually shows up as one of two things. It's fear of the light, or it's fear of the void. And it's interesting thing for us to take a look at and really to think about. So if you fear the void more, the unknown, it tends to show up as a fear of loss, a fear of control, a fear of failure, of judgment. And then if you fear the light more, it tends to show up more as a fear of being seen. It's a fear around your self-worth, and it is a fear of what happens once people really get to know you, or if you actually allow people to see you. So these are real fears. And in general, what I have come to learn through this book, here, I'm going to show it to you guys. The Freedom Transmissions. Boom. It's so good. What we learn is that in general, extroverts tend to lean towards fearing the void more, while introverts tend to fear the light, because being seen is what feels exposing. One fears loss, and the other fears gain. But underneath both, it's usually the same thing. It's not really the void or the light that we're afraid of when we actually get down to it. It is what either one might ask us to let go of, old identities or old stories or old versions of ourselves that we've gotten so used to being. And it feels really safe, when we just fall back into these old patterns of how we're being. So this is a time to take a look at that, especially in the full moon. What fear is being illuminated? If you fear If your fear is about the outcome, about what changes or what you might lose or what you might gain, that fear is just wrapped around your story and your identity. And if your fear is about whether you can handle what's coming next, that is amazing, useful information because it usually means that you're already growing past the old story and that our ego and our mind is starting to dissolve a little bit. So more of that, more of like our soul self, our spirit self is coming to drive the boat, right? We want that to be steering the ship a little bit more than our ego mind because the ego and the mind loves to keep it safe. It's doing its job. It just wants like status quo, it just wants to like, hmm. Whereas our soul wants experiences and it wants to grow. That's what we're moving into right now with this astrology, with this luckiest day of the year. So in order to embrace this luck, guys, we also have to get really honest about our fear and how it tends to show up for us because this is part of what makes any real expansion possible. We are not just it's not just make believe here. It is actually doing some of this work. So I know that there is a shadow side of expansion because while no longer playing small sounds amazing in theory, right? Like, yeah, I'm not going to play small anymore. In practice, it means facing something real. It means doing the work and it means, being visible might cost something. It can make you feel exposed, but this is something we are asking ourselves to do in order to feel free. So, as we're moving into this luckiest day of the year, where we're going to be planting some seeds, we also want to ask ourselves, okay, well, what am I actually afraid of? Am I afraid of being judged? Am I afraid of disappointing someone? Am I afraid that people won't like me or like who I've become? What if I say the wrong thing? Am I going to lose my friends and family if I actually start to show up as myself? And, um, it also could just be like just the responsibility of having attention on yourself. So, on this day with the full moon, on this lucky day, ask yourself, what story is just not fitting you anymore? And what relationship is keeping you smaller than you actually are? And what's standing between you and the fullest, highest version of yourself? So, we are looking at this. Um, Hello to the ladies who have joined. We are looking at this beautiful, luckiest day of the year. And so as we move into tomorrow, I'm looking at the date, Wednesday, July 29th. Let's seize this day. This is the day. Let's have fun with it. So there is an exercise that we can do because the energy of this day, of this astrological moment, it's asking us to commit to our creativity and to living from our joy. And no more playing small, whatever that means for you. For some of us, it might be like going big, and for some of us, it might just be I'm starting to express myself in a more truthful way to people in my life. And that can feel like you're not playing small. So just get honest with your dreams. And we can do some writing on this tomorrow. Think about ask yourself, where do I want to expand? Is it in love? Is it in money? Is it in career, creativity? Is it freedom? Is it visibility? You could just pick one and start there and focus on that with this energy. And again, this energy of Jupiter, this planet of expansion, it's in Cazimi with the sun, the heart, the sun is shining on it. It's like, I got you, Jupiter. I'm like shining on you. I'm cleansing you. I'm amplifying you. Jupiter's like, yes, because I'm expansion. And it's in Leo. And Leo's like, I love courage. I like to put myself out there a little bit. I like to be seen. But remember, guys, this is the ripple effect. So it's not just a me time. It is a we time. It's a collective time. Who do you want to be in co-creation with? What words, what actions are you doing that has a ripple effect? So tomorrow, ask yourself, where do I want to expand? And then because this is a whole year, if you can, think about future you, 1 year from now, July 2027. What does that future you want you to start right now? And if you can't visualize it, then just ask yourself, well, how does future me want to feel? Do I want to feel free? Do I want to feel lit up? Do I want to feel um, proud of myself because I took chances? So, what might that future you, July 2027, be super proud of you right now that you started at this point in time? Do a little time traveling, right? Let's do a little time traveling. So we don't need the whole we don't need the whole path mapped out. We just need to start. So, what will you look back on July 2027? Just like picture yourself there and be like, oh my God, I am so glad that I started that. I'm so glad that I planted that seed. Tomorrow is about planting seeds. It's not about necessarily bringing everything into fruition because we have a whole year of doing this. Planting the seeds. It's noticing the opportunities. It's making the opportunities. It's aligning with certain people you want to be in co-creation with. It's opening up that old journal and being like, oh my God, I've written about this for the past 6 months and I haven't done anything about it. Let's start it. Let's do it. So that is what this is about because the energy of this astrological moment is like, I've got you, girl. I'm here with you. Let's play. Remember, it's that like we're having that improv energy of yes and, yes and, yes and. And when we start to train our brain to look for that, our brain will start to notice this more. When we say to ourselves, I am open to the opportunities. I'm open to seeing these opportunities. I'm open to seeing these gold nuggets out there. Then your brain is going to start to find it. It's like what people say when you've played any of those games, when someone's like, "Oh, I love this particular car." And you're like, "I've never seen that car." The next thing you know, that's all you're gonna see on the street. You're gonna start to see that car because we put that in our brain to start noticing this. So start noticing these opportunities. And then finally, before I pop off here, there was this exercise that Jill Winterstein suggests and I'm going to put this in my notes because I'm going to publish this and I'll put this in my notes of where you can listen to her podcast, Canny's podcast, a few other of the resources that I pulled from. Because again, I'm not the astrologer here, I'm just sharing what I know. Jill Winterstein, Spirit Daughter, has this wonderful exercise that she suggests to do tomorrow, Wednesday, July 29th. Go outside, find a patch of sun, sit in the sun with your palms up and just be silent and just see what wants to come through you, feel what's moving through you, in that stillness, in the silence, see what downloads you get and what messages that are coming through. And don't force it, guys. Just let yourself just breathe. Maybe you're listening to the birds, you just kind of listen to the sounds and just see and feel what wants to come through you. Because you might be surprised about what little nudge, what little idea is bubbling up. So listen to that and write it down. And even if you don't know the how, we don't need to know the how with everything. We just need to know. Um, we just need to know the what. Lako says, "What if it's raining where we are?" That's a really good question, Lako. So I would say to that is because everything is energy, you're still going to get the energy of the sun. We know this, right? Like with Reiki or with other healers, where we don't even need to be in the same room with them. So the sun is shining somewhere in this world. So you can be in your home and you can just tap into that energy. It is there for all of us. Just like we just believe Tap into the energy of the sun. And what does that mean? Whatever it means for you guys. Like, it's just like we know, you know how you feel when that sun is shining on you. So sit in your house, sit in a barn, sit in your barn. Well, maybe it's raining, so you can't get to your barn. And just like you are energy, the sun is energy, astrology, the planets, it's all energy. We don't need to hold things in our hand to feel it, to know it. We don't even need to see it to feel it, to know it. So go and have fun with this day. Let it be playful. Let yourself be creative. Don't make a big deal of this, you guys. This is us having fun. We have a year of this expansion. So the biggest thing that we know with all of this, it's one thing to dream and to imagine, but we also have to be in action. You know, we got to put a little action into it. So have fun. I would love to know if anyone gets downloads tomorrow or even in this next few days or even in this week. What is something that's lighting you up? What feels expansive? What do you want to do? What do you want to step into? And to go in that direction and share it with me. I would love to know. My mom just joined. Hi, Mama. I'm actually at the end of my Substack Live. I'm talking about the expansion of this year ahead. I'm going to publish this so you guys can watch it. I will put the transcript in so you can read it if you prefer. But let's have fun with this. Oh, and you know what, you guys? Why not? Play a couple scratch offs tomorrow. Play the lottery. I think I'm going to. Just believe in the beautiful, beneficial energy of this moment because we all know there's a lot going on in this world. So let's just have a little bit of play. Give yourself a little bit of play and fun. And if you want, share it with me. My mom says, I love you so much. I love you too so much, Mom, you sweet thing. I'm going to be thinking about my mom tomorrow. So I think about you all the time, Mom. I think about everyone. I think about Lake all the time. Hello, Judith. Hello, everyone who's joined. You guys are so sweet. And thank you for listening. Again, I am Lori Gunning Grossman. I am here with Hold the Light. I am here to help distill some of the ideas, the messages, the energy, the whatever is going out in there in the world because I'm curious. I know you guys are curious. So please reach out, say hi to me. And I love you all. Thank you for that little love heart. And mwah, keep holding the light, babies. Talk to you later.